Hi guys. So in this video what we are going to do is we are going to see the syllabus changes that are applicable for SBL and SBR, your strategic professional level mandatory papers SBL and SBR. What are the syllabus changes applicable from September 23 till June 2024? I am Manikanta. I'll be your lecturer for this particular video. So what I have done is I have summarized the list of changes for your SBR and SBL. You can see there is a mammoth list of 40 syllabus changes as the thumbnail of this video might show. So 40 areas of syllabus changes are there. So how many of them are actually relevant syllabus changes, how many of them are just clarifications, you can see on the screen. So out of this 40, 31 are just clarifications. There are 6 new syllabus areas introduced and 3 major areas of your syllabus which were very difficult for the students, they have been removed, which is a good news for the student community. And when it comes to SBL, the great news is there are no syllabus changes whatsoever. 12 changes has been listed and all the 12 are just clarifications given by ACCA. So first let's see the SBL syllabus changes and then we'll move on to SBR, since SBL is 12 changes and all the 12 are just clarifications. Let's quickly just go through that. So as you can see on the screen, so summary of changes that are applicable for SBL. This is for September 2023 till June 2024. So please be aware of that. And first let me just show you something here. On the right side, they'll just always show the content of the syllabus which is being changed. So quickly if you see, what is the problem? Okay, sorry. So if you see, the first one is reworded, which means they just added the word conflict resolution to the existing content. No change in the syllabus area whatsoever. It's just a wording change. Same thing with the next one, reworded to include the role of directors. Reference to the role of non-executive is now removed, and rather than covering in B5C, it is covered in B5A. That means within the syllabus section areas, they are just moving from one topic to another topic. So next one, C1B, reworded to reflect the word used in the model, just proper terminology being used there. Specific reference to SAF is now removed, as this can be examined in a number of ways. Again, clarification of the model name, reference to the models is now removed, as this can be examined in a number of ways. So risk is there. Why talk about one particular model when risk can be evaluated in multiple different types of models? And again, reworded for clarity, reference to the word metrics is now removed, as this can also be examined in number of ways. So they're just talking about specific terminologies that are removed, and rather a more broader description is given. But none of you actually know. I'm pretty sure the students don't even know what is G2B, what is G3C. I mean, they might know how to look for it, but I don't think students will actually know what is G2B, what is G3C on the top of their head. You will either follow Kaplan or BPP or ACCA's content materials that are coming up soon in their ACCA study hub. But whatever material you are referring to, you don't actually look at these section areas of the syllabus. So it doesn't matter whether it is in E21 or D25. It doesn't matter much. Again, specific reference to SF model is removed, and this can be examined different ways. Then remove this, as this is covered by C5A. That means there was a duplication between G3C and C5A, so it is removed in G3C. Reworded for clarity, removed as it is covered in H5D. Again, H5F is renumbered to H5H, as H5E is renumbered to H5G. E became G, F became H. Who cares? Nobody cares. So there are literally no changes in the syllabus, just rewordings, realignments, shuffling the syllabus areas, removing any duplicates, removing any restrictive words referring to one particular model, and making it a more broader explanation. So those are your syllabus changes for SBL, which is basically nothing. So if you are using an older material, it's okay. If you have already taken classes from the older syllabus, it's okay. No need to make any changes to your preparation. Stick with your existing models. Nothing to be changed in SBL. Now coming to SBR. Okay. So summary of changes to the syllabus areas of SBR. So ACCA periodic reviews, blah 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 blah. Now look at this, sir. Even before talking about the syllabus changes, ACCA has been very clear. Many of the verbs used in the learning outcomes, that means areas of the syllabus, have been amended in line with the mapping of cognitive intellectual levels to instructive verbs according to Bloom's taxonomy. Sir, ये सब क्या है? What is this nonsense, sir? What is learning outcomes? What is mapping? What is cognitive intellectual levels? What is Bloom's taxonomy? What are they talking about? Don't worry. See, when they give ACCA, what they do is they'll tell you learning outcomes from each area of your syllabus. Let's say you have non-current assets section in your syllabus area, right? SBR students. So in the non-current assets, what are you supposed to learn? Are you supposed to learn the entire IFRS standard, or are there specific learning outcomes? That is here. See, in non-current assets, you need to know how to apply recognition, derecognition, measurement, impairments, revaluations, then reclassifications, held for sale assets. So they give you list of items to study. That is called learning outcomes. So in these learning outcomes, some words have been changed. That is called a taxonomy. The wordings that are used, the terminology that is used, now that is changed. Why is it changed? Because there are IFRS updates, and usually educational institutions, ACCA, CMA, IMA, whatever you are talking about, they try to restrict the terminology used so that students at any level can understand them. They don't directly use the technical jargon of IFRS most of the time. They make, I can say they dumb it down to an extent so that everybody can understand it. But while dumbing it down, there is a possibility that some terms which are technically very relevant for the student to know, they might replace those terms. So ACCA, what they are doing this time, September 23 onwards, which is very good move by them. I strongly believe, do not dumb down anything for the students. Students are more than capable to understand what is there. No need to dumb it down for them. If at all they are unable to understand, there are a lot of faculties out there, great faculties out there who can help them out. So there is no need to dumb down the areas of syllabus and IFRS for the students. That's what I believe. So anyways, so these learning outcomes are now, most of the terminologies that are used have been changed. And second one, what is that intellectual levels and all that stuff, sir? So this intellectual levels, to understand that, let me just take you here. So level 1 refers to knowledge and comprehension, understanding. Level 2 talks about application and analysis of what you learned, and level 3 talks about synthesis and evaluation. Sir, what do you mean by this? See, for example, some areas of your syllabus, it's okay if you just know and remember it. Enough. IFRS 1 is their first time application of your international financial reporting standards. You don't need to know the practical issues that are linked with IFRS 1. What happens if you cannot do retrospective effect for more than 10 years? You don't need to know all that stuff, sir. That is just level 1 knowledge is sufficient. Suppose if I talk about property, plant and equipment, just for an example I'm telling you, you might need to know how to apply those terminologies, how to apply those revaluation model. What happens if revaluation gains are already there and now there is an impairment loss? What happens if an asset is impaired without any revaluation gain assigned to that particular asset? So these kind of application and analysis also you should know if it is a level 2. Level 3, interpretation of financial statements, consolidated financial statements, group accounting. You need to know level 3 knowledge. You need to know evaluation, synthesis, analysis, complete knowledge you need to know. So some areas where earlier under level 1, they moved it up to level 2. Some areas where earlier in level 3, they brought it down to level 2, like that. Little bit changes in the intellectual level required, level 1, level 2, level 3. Not your IFRS 13 wala level 1, level 2, level 3. Anyways, let's come back. So what are these amendments to SBR, sir? First, let me show you something. going on. It keeps on going. 40 areas have been listed by ACCA for SBR syllabus changes. 40. So out of this 40, as I have already summarized at the beginning of this video, you have only 31 out of this 40 are clarifications. You have only 6 new areas and 3 removal of areas. So what are the 6 new areas and 3 removal of areas that you need to know? So let me just quickly take you through that. So look at the first one, sir. Remove the narrow reference to stewardship. Now the scope has been slightly broadened about stewardship, how directors are supposed to really perform their duties and responsibilities. There is more focus on disclosure of information, your notes to accounts basically. Any kind of duplication has been removed, and they reduce the number of learning outcomes, no content change. And prudence and substance over form are now part of learning outcome B1C instead of B1D. So they moved it from B1D to B1C, one section ahead. Doesn't matter, you still need to learn that. Next again, remove duplication, reduce number of learning outcomes. Uncertainty and materiality is now in B1D instead of B1E. Doesn't matter much. In the revenues, there are some duplications which are now removed and number of learning outcomes are reduced. Till here it's okay. Nothing is changing till this point of time, right? So now comes the first change which I am very interested for the students to know. Please be very careful here. These are not new editions, sir, but existing ones are very limited, so they have expanded the scope of it. I would consider this as syllabus editions. What is that? In the revenue, IFRS 15, now you have specific mention and calculations of contract modifications. So for example, you are selling flower bouquets. A customer has called you and ordered that, sir, for the next 6 months, I want you to send 100 bouquets each Sunday. For the next 6 months, every Sunday send me 100 bouquets, and the price of each bouquet is agreed between you and the customer to be $2. Now the problem is, after the contract is for 6 months, after 2 months, there is a shortage of flowers in the market. There is some kind of a natural calamity, maybe a cyclone or something like that, and the flowers shortage is there. So the price of the bouquet has to be increased from $2 to say $4 or $3.50, whatever. So now what happens to the remaining 4 months? After 2 months this happened. So remaining 4 months of the contract, what will happen? So that contract modifications are now specifically tested in SBR, right? Similarly, again, within revenue recognition, within IFRS 15, including repurchase agreements specifically now. Repurchase means what, sir? I sold some goods to one of my customers, and at the time of sale, there is an underlying agreement that I will again buy these goods back from the customer. Technically, we'll call it as a loan transaction. Basically, I am selling to you and again buying back from you. Why would I sell and again buy back, sir? I'm giving that particular underlying asset as a security, as a surety, as a guarantee to you, and I'm taking money from you. And again, I'm giving you back your money and I'm taking my asset back. So it's to be treated as a loan unless some conditions of IFRS 15 are triggered, which we'll learn in the respective lectures. But repurchase agreements are now specifically tested, including practical questions, numerical questions. This is another syllabus edition according to me. Third syllabus edition, again in IFRS 9 financial instrument. Already IFRS 9 is so lengthy, so hectic. Sir, you need to know financial assets, financial liabilities, compound instruments, equity instruments, and you need to know factoring of receivables with recourse, without recourse. This is the first part. Second part, you need to know derivative instruments, fair value through P&L, and embedded derivatives, and then this is the second part, derivative instruments related. Third part, hedge accounting, cash flow hedge, fair value hedge. So much of nonsense is there in IFRS 9 already. And again, they are now adding, included the business model test specifically. Sir, is this a new addition to the syllabus? Technically, for my students, No, it is not new area of syllabus. So my students who took classes from me for FR itself, financial reporting, they already know what is the business model test. For example, if I just give you a brief introduction, if I purchase equity shares of a company, so that is a financial asset for me. Equity instruments of a different entity is an asset for me. So now at the time of purchase, we need to check what is the purpose behind the purchase. Is it for short-term trading purpose, or is it for long-term holding and voting and control purpose? If that is the case, if first case short-term trading, fair value through P&L, long-term holding, fair value through OCI. If it is debt security, short-term trading, fair value through P&L till maturity, fair value through no. If it is long-term holding with an intention to sell if the market conditions are favorable, fair value through OCI. And if the intention at the time of purchase of a debt security is to hold it till maturity, then amortized cost model. So here basically criteria being evaluated to classify a particular instrument. Here the logic behind the purchase of the asset, the intention behind purchase of the asset, that is called business model test. You'll have some step 1, step 2, step 3 which you'll learn in the syllabus, but yeah, that would be a basic introduction. Next, so these 3 are according to me additions to the syllabus rather than I am calling them as expansions, because earlier they are covered at a very basic level is covered in the earlier stages. Now next one, within financial instruments again included both the fair value option and financial liability modifications. So you know, financial liabilities can be classified either at fair value through P&L or amortized cost model. So usually amortized cost model will follow for long-term financial liabilities, but if the intention of the entity in getting that loan or borrowing that money is to trade and take advantage of the market, then we'll classify it as fair value through P&L. Short trading, we discussed this in the classes, so I don't want to cover more content in the lecture in this particular video, so I'll just stick to that. So again, more detailed calculations and numerical problems will be tested in this kind of modifications to financial liabilities and fair value through P&L financial liabilities. Here comes the most good news, happy news for the students. Within financial instruments, your embedded derivatives topic is now removed. No need to study embedded derivatives, no need to get confused about one derivative being forced into another derivative. One contract is having another contract embedded inside that. No need to worry about that. Embedded derivatives topic is now removed from your syllabus. But for Global Finance students, what we will do is at the end of your lectures, in your entire series of recorded lectures, at the end I will still leave the embedded derivatives lecture, so that even though it is not a part of your syllabus, you can still go through that to know what they are and to understand what is their accounting treatment. Optional. The chapter name itself will be additional topics out of syllabus or whatever that comes to my mind at that point of time, but I will still leave this within your course so that you can learn that. So there is no restriction that you should not learn something out of your syllabus, right? Sure. Next, so these are your major syllabus areas, 4 new topics and 1 removed topic. Next, remove duplication and reduce number of learning outcomes. I don't really care, just a basic removal of duplicate items. And here again, second removal of major area in your syllabus, sir, share based payments removed to enhance focus on core elements of IFRS 2. Sir, क्या बोल रहे? Not entire share based payment is not removed, entire IFRS 2 is not removed. In IFRS 2, C8B is removed, but if you scroll up and see what is C8B, you will not find C8B because it is removed. So you need to look at the previous syllabus guide of SBR September 22 to June 23 syllabus guide and see what is C8B. You don't need to do that, sir. Let me show you that. What is the second area of SBR that is removed is strategic business reporting. So deletions. First one is removed embedded derivatives. Second one, yeah, please look at this, sir. Second one, account for modifications, cancellations and settlements of share-based payment transactions is removed. Sir, only your core IFRS 2 share-based payments, equity settled scheme and cash settled scheme. Only these two accountings are tested for SBR. You don't need to learn what happens when a equity settled scheme is transferred to a cash settled scheme, what happens if the terms of the equity settlement scheme are modified, what happens if the vesting period is increased, what happens if the fair value is changing. All this nonsense is now not required, sir. Cancellations, settlements, modifications of share-based payment transactions is now removed from your syllabus. No need to learn that. Again, same thing, I'll still keep that, but at the end you can watch it as an optional topic for our students, GFX students. That is the second area of syllabus that is removed. Next, reduced number of learning outcomes, valuation techniques are now part of learning outcome C9B instead of C9D. Earlier it was in C9D, now it is moved to C9B. Doesn't matter, it will still be the same. Again, decreased the level of knowledge required from 3 to 2 for what? SMEs. So at SME level, now level 3 is what? Your level 3 was synthesis and interpretation part, right? So now you don't need to know the evaluation of SME standards. You just need to know the application and analysis of it. You don't need to know the evaluation of SMEs. Okay. So level of required knowledge is now reduced. Next, for other reporting issues, it is increased from 2 to 3, and now increased exposure in the exam and a deeper level of evaluation and understanding is required regarding the other reporting issues. Next, other reporting issues as in your additional performance measures, APM, and then what was that? EBITDA, EBITDA, all that stuff. Exposure drafts, directors comments, management comments, all that stuff is in the other reporting issues section of ACCA syllabus. Next, again removed because there is duplication with other area of the syllabus. Application of IAS 34 will not be examined. Just a second, I have to add this to the my Excel spreadsheet. SBR deletions, yeah. So application of IAS 34 will not be examined. So that would mean that now I'll have to change the number from here from 3 to 4 maybe. Yep. So that would mean 30 will be in clarifications. Okay, cool, doesn't matter. So yeah, while summarizing that, I thought it is just duplication, but this part I missed. So application of IAS 34 will not be examined. So what is IAS 34? Interim reporting. So interim reporting, application of it will not be tested. So you will not be asked to prepare interim financial statements. So no need to worry about it. Next, other reporting issues. Again, decreased cognitive level from 3 to 2 to align with application and analysis only. Next, created new learning outcome to highlight the importance of understanding and applying the principles of presentation and disclosures as set out in IAS 21. Sir, what is this? Is this a new area of the syllabus or what? Yes. Now you need to know how to understand and apply IAS 1. What is IAS 1? Preparation and presentation of financial statements. Format of financial statements, your statement of profit and loss, statement of comprehensive income, statement of financial position, cash flow statement, statement of changes to equity, notes to accounts, all your 5 financial statements. How do you present them and how do you disclose those relevant topics? That is added to your requirement in SBR. But that we anyways already cover within our syllabus. So I did not consider that as an actual addition to the syllabus area, because that's anyways, you know, that's the first topic that we teach after fair valuation and other stuff. Conceptual framework for evaluation, then we'll start with the presentation of financial statements and then we'll move on. Anyways, okay. Next, within the group, the control definition is now specifically tested. We already covered that within our lectures, and also I don't think that would be a new syllabus area. Reduce the learning outcomes, number of learning outcomes are reduced. Increase the level of testing from 2 to 3. More depth is required in control, your associates and joint ventures, IS 27 also. Next, increased the cognitive level of from 2 to 3 to reflect the depth for cash flows, group cash flows. But again, please remember, sir, you'll not be tested to prepare a group cash flow from scratch. No, that will not be there. Never. Why, sir? Because it's very difficult. Qualified ACCAs, ignore qualified ACCAs. Accountants with more than 20-30 years of experience also face lot of issues while preparing a group cash flow from scratch. It's headache. It's a lot of headache is there. So particularly when it comes to foreign exchange involvement as well. So that's not tested here. No need to worry about it. Next, again, what is there? Yeah, removed or have been acquired or disposed of in the period, as this is already duplicated. Again, duplication. Moved from D3A to D1J does not matter. Reduce the scope does not matter much. Clarifying that candidates need to understand how to prepare a group statement of cash flows, but will not need to prepare one from the scratch. You should just know how it is prepared, but you will not be tested to prepare one from the scratch. No, that won't be there. Just adjustments will be tested. Reduced learning outcomes, number of learning outcomes, duplications removed, removed duplication, reduced learning outcomes, removed duplication. One section has been moved to another section, removed, as we now feel that this has progressed beyond this learning outcome and is covered in more detail in E1D. Again, from E1B to E1D, nothing is changing here. Additional performance measures are already covered in E1A, and we wanted to highlight the importance of general disclosure within the syllabus. Whatever is already there, they're just highlighting that it is more important. Next, increase the scope of the learning outcome to increase the importance of integrated reporting and segment reporting, already covered everywhere, so not a big deal. Reduced learning number of learning outcomes, again reduced. Created a new learning outcome to focus on management commentary, including practice statement 1. So now you need to know management commentary and practice statement 1. You should study that. Next, it was felt that the term current issues is creating anxiety to the students about should we prepare exposure draft, discussion papers and all that stuff. So they removed the word current issues from the syllabus. They now replaced it with issues in financial reporting. It's not called current issues anymore. This is again a new area of your syllabus which is now removed. That is the application of IFRS 1 financial first time application of international financial reporting standards. Remove the words first time, as we have decided not to test the application of IFRS 1, and this removes any kind of ambiguity around this particular decision. IFRS 1, how to prepare the first time financial statements, is now removed from your syllabus area. You will not be requested to do any kind of that, but it would be appropriate if you study IFRS 1 and know what are the application techniques and stuff like that. Again, reduced from 3 to 2. Improved wording to add more clarity. Management commentary is already part of earlier we discussed, so now that is removed. Removed to reduce number of learning outcomes, as this is now covered in E1D and E1E. Again, just realigning within the syllabus. Reduce level from level 3 to level 2. Reassure candidates that sustainability reporting will not be tested in greater depth. Sir, sustainability reporting, just basics will be tested, not level 3 understanding, deep understanding. You don't need to go and download sustainability reports from their website and all that stuff, not required. Just basic understanding of sustainability and integrated reporting is sufficient. So just summarizing the list of changes, I know 40 changes, going through it once is a big problem for you, so I have summarized the SBR syllabus changes here. So let's quickly once again recap the syllabus changes. What are the additions? 1. Contract modifications in IFRS 15, revenue recognition is exclusively tested. Repurchase agreements are specifically tested. Business model is specifically tested in IFRS 9 financial instruments. Now modifications in the fair value liabilities and fair value options. Fair value option and financial liability. Modifications of financial liabilities in IFRS 9 is now specifically tested numerically. Next, IAS 1. Presentation and preparation and presentation of financial statements and disclosures is now specifically tested. More detailed understanding is required. And management commentary and practice statement 1 is mandatory. It is now specifically tested. These are the new additions to your syllabus. And deletions of existing syllabus areas. 1. Embedded derivatives nonsense is gone. 2. Share based payments, modifications, cancellations and settlements is gone. 3 IFRS 1 first time preparation of financial statements is not specifically tested now. 4 IAS 34 interim reporting is not specifically tested now. These 4 areas of your syllabus are now removed. So this is your SBR changes. So at this point, make sure you take a screenshot if you are appearing for SBR, so that you can just snap this particular area on your screen, and you can follow this rather than going through the 40 list of SBR changes. Alright, so that is about SBR and SBL syllabus changes. In the next video, we'll talk about AFM, APM and AAA paper syllabus changes. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep smiling, take care, bye bye, Jai Shri Ram.